if I look back on my couple years that I've been doing OFM, I have to tell you the thing that got me 10x or 20x or 100x results in comparison of like how much energy I have to put in. Then it's not a method, it's not a creator, it's not a certain group, it's not a mastermind, it's nothing like that, but it's who I'm working with. And in today's video I'm going to be showing you that how my team currently looks like in my agency in 2026. If this is the first time that you see me, then my name is Armi. I've been in OFM for over 4 years now, and my agency is doing over $300,000 a month. So let's get right into it. The biggest difference that I have right now in comparison to my last couple of years is the team that I'm working with. And you must have heard of this quote, which is, it's not how hard you row, but in which boat you are in. And this is 100% true, whatever business you are running. And I wouldn't be here without my team. So let's just break down how it looks like currently for me. And for this video, like, don't just go in and copy paste everything that I'm doing, because this is working for me. It might not work for an agency who is just starting out, who's only making 10K, 20K, 50K a month. But what I want you to get from this video is to just understand my ideas behind how to make the best team possible. So if you are the agency owner who's watching this video, then you're likely the CEO. Then the CEO's task shouldn't be micromanaging chatters, micromanaging everything. You shouldn't do that. The main things that you should be focusing on is on how you are able to bring in more revenue, figuring out new methods, getting more creators, or anything that has the highest ROI activity. And all the operations, the day-to-day stuff, should be managed by a COO. As you can see here, I'm at the top. Under me, I have a COO who is handling all the day-to-day stuff. So I don't have to talk with the chatters, talk with the creators, and do any of this bullshit. Under the CEO, there would be a couple of people. First of all, the recruiter. Another important thing that you have to realize in OF, it's also, as I mentioned before, who you are working with. And when I'm talking about who you are working with, it's not just the VAs or the managers or the workers that you have under you, but also the creators. So if you have really shitty creators, then it's not going to work out. That's why you need, once you grow to a certain level, a proper recruiter whose only job is to look for talent that you're able to scale as quickly as possible. So we have a recruiter who is obviously in contact with the COO and also with the model manager. A model manager's task is to make sure that all of the creators are happy, they are doing their work, they have weekly one-on-one calls discussing what happened that week, how the models are, how is the growth, all of these day-to-day and week-to-week stuff with the creators. We also have a hiring manager, as I mentioned, it matters what kind of people you are working with. So we have a proper hiring manager whose only job is to look for managers, VAs, general workers for the agency. And this person is only looking for that, nothing else. We also have an accountant who is taking care of all the creator payments and like all this shit, and also paying the chatters, the posters, and the whoever we have in the agency. A model manager is usually able to manage 5 to 10-ish creators. It's obviously going to depend on what you're asking the model manager to do, but 5 to 10 creators should be a healthy range. We have a full-on short-form team. How that looks like is we have a short-form manager who is making sure that all of the short-form operations, for example, TikTok, IG, Snapchat, YouTube Shorts, whatever, is working the best possible, and also sending over ideas, sending content examples, making sure that the conversion is the best, and also sharing all of the data with the CEO, who is going to be making sure that we're making the best decision. And also the short form manager is, as I mentioned, in contact with the COO, in contact with the model manager, making sure that the content is as good as possible, the creators are doing their work, they enjoy. I'm sorry, there was a wasp here. So let's get right back. So the short form manager is also in contact with the model manager, making sure that the creators are doing their work, they are happy with the content that they have to do, and all of this bullshit. And also they are managing the posters and making sure that, okay, all the posts are going out and all of the accounts are managed properly. And also with the editors. So many agency owners, they just ask the creator to do some content. They're not even checking out if the content is good or not, and they just post whatever they have. But this is where basically quality control will come into place. This is going to be the work of all of these managers, making sure that the quality is as good as possible. You cannot just tell an editor, okay, edit it this way, and not check it out and post and wonder why it's not working. You need to check it out. If you don't have enough employees to do the quality control, then you should be the one doing it if you're like at a lower level agency, because methods and workers and whatever is not going to matter as much as content, because content is going to be the marketing, which is going to be the driving piece of how much money you guys are going to be making. So make sure that someone is going to be doing the quality control. As I mentioned, the manager is managing the poster and the editor. It's similar to the Reddit team. Reddit manager is controlling the Reddit editor. Reddit editing is not going to take as much time as short form content editing. So, for example, like in our case, we have one Reddit editor who is able to take care of every single creator that we're working with. By the way, we are managing 15 creators. One Reddit editor should be decent enough. And also managing all of the Reddit posting. Also this Reddit manager making sure that, okay, all of the accounts are being set up, all the warm-ups are correct, making sure to give the exact data back to a CEO, and making the best decisions overall. We recently launched a chatting team. We are mainly working with chatting agencies, but recently we have also started making our own chatting team, just because I want to make sure that for my consulting clients, we're able to give the best options and the best solutions for their chatting problems. So we have recently launched our own. And how it works, we have a full-on chatter manager who is in contact with the supervisor, who is also, as I mentioned before, doing quality control. And also both of them are in contact with the chatters, making sure that all of the chatting and all the customs and everything is handled properly. And lastly, we have the accountant. And how it works like is, it's not really visible on this chart, but the short form content manager, edit manager, model manager, chat manager, and also the accountant, and also in some cases the CEO, are also in contact with the creator, making sure that everything is flowing correctly, everyone is happy, and everyone knows what are going to be the next steps. This structure can differ from creator to creator, because obviously for some creators where we are making most of our money, we are going to be putting more focus on them. So they are going to be more hands-on with the short form manager, the Reddit manager, with whatever manager. And with creators who are just coming in, they might only be talking with the model manager and handling almost everything as automated as possible. But for, as I mentioned before, the higher up creators, we are giving them as much focus as possible, because this is a service-based business, and in most cases it's just going to come down to how many people you're able to manage and how good your systems are. So my philosophy around employees, about managers, about the whole structure, is to make sure that for every single topic you have one person who is handling it. Because what I noticed when I was just starting out, when I started to be making the first 10k, 20k, 50k, or whatever amounts of money per month, is that I was running almost everything myself. And the problem with that is, if you just break down to like 3 to 4 topics, then I'm only, because I only have 100% of my time, I'm only able to put in 20%, 20%, 20% of however much I want into certain topics. But if you have one person who is so focused is to make sure that all of the Reddit accounts are running as good as possible, and also for chatting, and also for short form, and also for all of these other sub work, then you are able to get the best possible results. But don't forget, none of these people, at least in the beginning, is going to be smarter than you. And this is also going to be a really important topic that I see in all of my consulting clients, that they are not really open to getting managers, so like Reddit manager, short form manager, or whatever managers, because they know that, yeah, when they start out, they're not going to be as good as me, so I'm not hiring anyone. That's true in the beginning. But if you're constantly focusing on training and training and training and training, and actually making sure that they feel like that they are valued and their work matters, and they are going to put in also 100% effort, and after like a couple of months, they are going to know everything about a certain platform. That is how it was with all of my short form managers, with my Reddit managers, my CEO, and with like everything. In the first couple of months, they are not going to be perfect, because you cannot expect them to be perfect. But after a couple of months, if you are training them and handling them really good, then they are able to like full on take on all of these tasks that you are giving them. So that is how it currently works for us. Whenever we get like a new employee, then the manager is able to like train them as quick as possible. They know what they have to do. They're constantly looking for new ways to improve, and they are treating the whole agency as if it was their own. So this is going to be another important topic of what you need to pay for all of these employees. And the exact amount is not going to matter as much as giving them a couple percent of what they're bringing in from IG, couple percent from what they bring in from Reddit, so they feel like that their work matters. Because if you're only giving them like a flat amount, like a flat 800, 2000, 5000 or whatever, then if they do a good work or if they do shit work, it's not really going to matter for them, right? Because they're not going to get any advantage of doing really good work. But if you praise them enough, first of all, and also give them like at least a couple of percent, it doesn't have to be 50%, it has to be like at least 1 to 5%, then they actually feel like that, okay, my work matters, and it's also going to be good for themselves and also for the company. With this, another important thing is going to be making sure that all of the SOPs, all of the systems and whatever you are running in your agency are as clear as possible. Because what I've also seen in my case and also in a lot of my consulting clients is they just tell, for example, a Reddit manager, like they just go on like a multi-hour, like 2, 3, 4 hour long call, and they just explain everything in that one call to the manager, and they expect next day to be everything perfect. But the thing is, they're also human, and what I like to do generally is to just give them a clear checklist of what they have to do hourly, daily, weekly, or whatever amount. In that way, they have a clear step-by-step of what they have to do. Because if it's not clear for them, because if you just told them, like telling them during the day, it's not going to be like, it's not going to work out as good. Just because they're also human. So you have to make sure that all of the systems, all the SOPs that you have in your agency are as idiot-proof as possible. And then lastly, another quick tip for managing managers, not for the posters, editors, or like any lower level task, but the proper managers, is to actually give them something hard or something that they should figure out themselves. A really good way of this is they're going to be constantly coming to you or coming to your CEO with problems. We have this problem, for example, the model is not doing the work, or this content is not working, we are not able to track the data, or any problem that they might be facing. They're going to come to you with a question or with a problem. And what I would recommend you to do in order to see if they are proper A players or not, is to ask them backwards. What do you think we should do? Like, being as chill as possible, just asking them, what do you think we should do? And they're going to come up with a few solutions, and after that ask them. If they say that a bad solution, then ask questions which are going to reveal to themselves why it's a bad option. And also for good thing, you can say that, yeah, go ahead and do that. If you just do this enough times, constantly focusing on asking questions instead of like telling them exactly what to do, again, for like higher level task, what you're going to notice that after a couple of weeks or couple of months, they're able to handle difficult questions and difficult tasks, in some cases that you might not be able to do it yourself. This is exactly what happened with for example, with my Reddit team or like Reddit manager. We were constantly facing bans, and at that time, because I did not have that much time, and also my COO was busy with a couple other things, we weren't able to help out the Reddit manager. And she was able to figure everything out by herself and figured out why we were constantly getting bans without us coming in and telling her what to do. Because she know that, okay, she trusted herself enough to know that she can figure out the way of doing it. So again, having the best team members, having proper managers, proper CEO, and like a proper agency structure is going to 100x the agency that you're running right now. If you're already making some money, like 5K, 10K, 20K, 50K, or whatever per month. If you're just starting out, then you don't need any of this. What you need in the beginning is to learn how everything works, so then you're able to hand it off to someone else. You're not able to hand over a task or a project or something that you don't understand fully. Okay? What I also have to say is, building out this structure was difficult because it's going to take a lot of time, a lot of effort, and you need to know how you are able to find, where to find, and how to actually treat all of these employees. And if you are facing this, that you are like constantly working, and you're not getting better results, then what I would recommend for you is to schedule a call with me, like a full-on, totally free advisory call where I would come into a call with you, me personally, not some random Indian closer or some bullshit like that. I'm going to personally look through your current agency, whether you're doing 5K a month, 20K, 50K, or even 100K a month. I'm going to recommend to you like a couple of things and discuss how me and my team can come into your agency and scale it to the moon. First of all, obviously making as much money as possible. And secondly, that you are going to be outside of your agency and you can work on the agency and not inside of it. Because right now, in most cases, what I also see in a lot of agencies is the agency owner is the bottleneck because they want to do everything alone. And because they're afraid of hiring a COO, hiring a model manager, hiring a consultant. So don't be afraid. That's about it. See you guys.